Ha, see, I told you I'd be back. Here I am. Yeah, the pop culture cosmonaut back up in your area like a bad case of malaria, man. You know, the Avengers covers of the 1970s, man. You know, I did a top 13 not too long ago, and some people disagreed with a lot of my choices, and that's your given right. You know, and other people asked me to do a part 2, and I thought, I'm your Huckleberry. I'm your Huckleberry. That's Val Kilmer from Tombstone. R.I.P. You know, and let me just say this. The Avengers covers of the 70s, the depth of quality was there in spades, man. So it's so easy for me to add on to that. I did 13, I'm gonna add 15. So this is a top 28. And the reason why, man, is that trimming it down is so hard. There are so many great covers I had to leave off again. All right, so like, comment, and subscribe. Let's begin. All right, so we're here with the 15th choice here is issue 159, which came out in 1977 in the month of February. All right, and this is the work of Gil Kane and Frank Giacola. Okay, this is a classic team from back in those days. I don't know. I think a lot of people might be surprised at this choice, but I don't give a damn, man. I think this is a cool ass cover. It's Graviton. He's the villain on this. He's a Canadian villain, man. You know, we got some douchebags up in Canada. Don't let the stereotypes fool you, man. There's a lot of good people up here, but we got our fair share of douchebags, and I guess Graviton was one of them. But you know, he was a research scientist, and that's where he got his powers. His name's Franklin Hall. Frank. Hey, Frank. But look at what's happening here, man. He's got all the Avengers floating around on this rock. They're all discombobulated. You know, they're upside down and twisted all around. Iron Man and Vision they look confused. Thor trying to figure out what's going on with his. I guess, you know, Graviton's dealing with his lightning from Mjolnir, as it's pronounced, right? And look at poor T'Challa. Look at poor Black Panther. He's hanging on for his dear life. I love Black Panther, but he's a bit outgunned in this fight. I don't know how he can battle gravity. What does he have? Well, you know, cat themed. Maybe land on his feet. But look how far up they are. You know, civilization below. Graviton is the kind of villain that could have become like an Omega level, like a real, true, hard hitter. You know, I dig Graviton, man. I like him with a cape, but he's got an interesting look, and he's dealing with all the Avengers here. This ain't no joke, man. All right. We will proceed. Look at number 14 on the list. This is issue 147, which came out in February of 1976. This is the work of Jack Kirby, man. This is some Jack Kirby stuff. I didn't like a lot of his late 70s stuff, but this one is cool, man. I like this cover. Look at Scarlet Witch in the front. She's got the serpent crown, all right? But it looks like she's coming to a potluck lunch with a casserole. And she looks excited to see, what do you think of my casserole? That's how she looks on this cover. But this is a unique cover, you know, jokes aside. You don't see a lot of covers like this, do you? Main character in the foreground coming at you. In the middle, you got Captain America, you got Vision, Iron Man, and Black Panther doing battle with a whole bunch of these, you know, rough-looking dudes with gats and so on. And dude got a crowbar, it looks like. And look who's coming through the back. It's the Squadron Sinister. You know, they've come up a few times in my videos. The Squadron Sinister becoming the Squadron Supreme. I love the Squadron Supreme, man. I did a video on them. Check it out. But the Squadron Sinister strikes again. Iron Man blasting Hyperion full on. Lady Lark on the side. Golden Archer. And on the side of Hyperion, on the other side, the dude to the right of Golden Archer, I was trying to think who that is in the Squadron Sinister, and there it is. It's just some guy. It's not a member of the team. So they're coming in with all these cats to take on the Avengers as Scarlet Witch escapes with the serpent crown. Pretty interesting cover. Very unique stuff. Unforgettable cover. We're going to go on to number 13. And this one is issue 130, which came out in September of 1974. This is a pretty unique cover in itself. It's a titanic battle between two sides. On the right, we have the Vision, Iron Man with a nose piece, Hawkeye, who looks, he shouldn't be involved in this, and then Thor. And on the left, we have the Crimson Dynamo at the top. I always like the Crimson Dynamo. We have the Slasher, who got them he got a funny looking outfit. You don't want to get too close to this guy. You can't travel with this man. He's gonna, slice you up by mistake. You got the Titanium Man in green. I wish that when it labels the villains here at the top, that they had them in proper order. It's a bit confusing. The Titanium Man in the green armor. I love the Titanium Man. Him and Crimson Dynamo. That's a great duo. Iron Man foes especially. And then at the bottom, you got the Radioactive Man. Kind of an underrated villain, or maybe underused, perhaps, or maybe I just didn't read enough comics with him. But yeah, this is a pretty big battle. Although, again, Hawkeye, I guess, would have to take on the Slasher, because he has no chance against the Radioactive Man, Titanium Man, or Crimson Dynamo. I think they were better off replacing him with another Avenger on this cover, but still, I think this one is cool as hell, man. And this is the work of Gil Kane, the master of Marvel cover art in the 1970s. Let's go to number 12. Why don't we? All right. This is issue 123, which came out in February of 74. A lot of issues that I've picked out in the series have come from that time period. And look at this. There's Mantis, who's flipping out on the Avengers here. So stand back, all of you. Attack this blind man and face the wrath of Mantis. Okay. And by the way, we're not talking about Mantis from remember the TV show from the early 90s, starring Carl Lumley, okay, where I think he was paralyzed, and then he had the suit of armor that let him do battle as a crime fighter. Pretty interesting show early on, before comic books were on TV or movies. All right. And yeah, look at this. Libra here looks like he's bugging out, man. I'm a Libra my damn self. I always don't like how this dude was represented. Look at him walking around in Speedos, man. His excuse is that he's a blind man, so he can't dress himself properly. God damn. All right, anyways, Vision here saying, but the man you're shielding is Libra, the most dangerous member of Zodiac. I never understood. How is he the most dangerous member? Okay, blind dude with his legs out like that. Come on. And then Mantis, who's an Avenger at this point, they're thinking she's a traitor, but this issue's all about her origin and special connection with Libra and her. Read it, you damn selves. Anyways, this is a dope cover, though. It pops, man, doesn't it? It just catches your eye. There's a lot of color all over this cover. This one went up a few notches. I wasn't originally gonna put this in my top whatever, but I just couldn't resist it, man. All right, we're gonna move on. This one, we are now to number 11 on my list, and this is issue 119, where the Avengers are doing battle with the Collector. It's the Collector. Man, this is a bizarre villain, isn't he? But yeah, in this issue, you can see it's a weird image, isn't it? The Collector in the foreground here with Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, and the Black Panther pinned to the wall. Man, and they're just limp, pretty much, powerless, helpless. The rest of the Avengers coming in to the rescue. You got the Vision coming from the ceiling, and Collector sees him and is in a state of shock. He looks unprepared for what's coming. And by the way, I need to give some props here to the team. John Romita Sr. and Gaspar Saladino. They did this great piece of work. And then, you know, in the background, you see the other Avengers, the Scarlet Witch, flanked by Mantis and the Swordsman. Swordsman, who I never really got a hang of this character. I don't know. But yeah, look at what it says here in this red circle. He's back with a vengeance. The man who collects superheroes the way other men collect insects. That's some weirdo stuff, man. Men who collect insects. Why? Anyways, collect comics, man. Or collect coins or something. I don't know. Collecting insects. That's weird stuff right there. The Collector. Interesting and unique villain. And you know, he eventually plays a role in the Korvac saga. But at this point, he's just dealing with the Avengers. But we're gonna move on to number 10 on the list. This Avengers 185. This came out in 1979, April of that year to be exact. This is one of the later ones you'll see, of course, in the decade. Very different style of art compared to some of the other ones we've seen. This is the work of George Pérez and Terry Austin. All right, and it's again very distinctive, not so typical of 70s art, and very different than the other Avengers covers that I've shown. I think, you know, the art is great. Like, George Pérez is a master. I don't know if the thing holding this back perhaps is that it's quite different than what you'd expect from an Avengers title or a cover. That doesn't necessarily mean it's anything bad, but it's not something I would put front and center as a quintessential example of an Avengers cover. It's a bit atypical, cool in its own way for damn sure. Well drawn, beautiful composition, color contrast for Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch from these guys in the back here with the lanterns and horses and carriages. And yeah, this is just well done all in all. But like I said, very atypical, very different than the usual Avengers cover. But again, 70s going in, transitioning into the 80s, you started to see some different styles being used. All right, so we're gonna move on up like the Jeffersons. This is issue 144, and this is the 9th on my list. Okay, so this one just pops, man. This is the work of Gil Kane and Frank Giacola. Right around that time, they were killing it, man. It's the Hellcat, right in the middle here, front and center. The Hellcat Cometh, as it says in the bottom. Flanked by Cap, Iron Man, the Beast, and the Vision. I love the green background. I love the gradient effect that it has. I'm not really a big Hellcat fan, but she looks great on this cover. And the guns and the shooters in the foreground, where you just see their first-person view. It looks like I don't know if they're all trying to shoot Hellcat, but they got no shot against Iron Man and Vision. That's for damn sure. But damn, this is a pretty sweet cover. And again, it's so instantly recognizable. All right. So, yeah, even though I'm not a big Hellcat fan, I just can't front, man. I can't front on this cover. I love it, man. Let's move on up. Let's proceed. This one is number 8 on my list of tonight. This is issue 126. This is another one I kind of figured a lot of people wouldn't even include. A lot of people might not even think of this one. But, you know, this is my list. This is mine. All right. The more I look at this one, I just think it's cool as hell, man. This is from May of 74. Now, Gil Kane was not involved in this. This is Ron Wilson, Frank Giacola, and Mr. Saladino. So, Ron Wilson had a lot of pretty cool art in the 70s as well. He did a lot of other good ones in my other Avengers video. And this cover features Klaw, right? Klaw, the villain of Black Panther. Okay, and he's saying, Iron Man, Vision, Captain America, even the mighty Thor himself, none can stand against Klaw. All right, but where is the one I hate most? Where is the African Panther? Yeah, hating on the African, man. Klaw. Okay, and here comes Black Panther, the king of Wakanda behind him. Right behind you, Klaw. But if those titans fell, what chance has the Black Panther? I don't know. I always liked Klaw for some reason. He's a good villain, man. His sonic powers, very unique, I think, compared to a lot of other villains. He had a good look, too. Interesting look. The only thing is, I don't know if it bothered me a little bit that his name was Klaw, but he doesn't have any claws whatsoever. There's nothing sharp in the man's gear. But anyways, great cover. I just think there's a lot of, a lot of color contrast going on. The black background with the moon, the brick wall, the grass. It's all pretty dull stuff. But, the colors on the characters themselves, and especially Klaw, really seem to pop out. And I've always said this, Vision is a great asset for Avengers cover art. He really, really makes a lot of it so vivid. All right, we're going to move on to number 7 on my list. This is issue 166, which came out in 1977 in the month of September. Count Nefaria is the antagonist in this one, as he is straight up getting walloped by Thor's hammer to no effect. No effect. And even Count Nefaria here saying, the most powerful Avengers are helpless before me, even you, Thunder God. Okay, and Thor can't believe it. All right. I don't know if this is maybe me. I don't know if I'm. Oh, by the way, this is George Pérez. Let me mention that. This is the work of George Pérez, Ernie Chan, and Danny Crespi. Danny Crespi was involved in a lot of 70s cover art as well. I love Nefaria's costume. I love his look. He looks like a big time super villain in his essence. That's for damn sure. One thing I kind of don't like about this cover is Vision, and it's not really his fault. It's just that, I'm not sure what you would call it, letterbox, I guess. Yeah, sorry, the letterbox image of the Vision and Vision in the cover art itself, it kind of looks similar, doesn't it? So it kind of looks like there's two Visions at first. Am I nitpicking? I don't know, but I think that's kind of legit. My eye is distracted by that. But otherwise, I love, the pose Nefaria's striking here. He's in control. All right. Let's go to number 6 on my list here. This is issue 120. I just couldn't resist. The Zodiac, man, the Zodiac. I always wanted to like these guys. I wanted to. I don't know if I actually did, but I wanted to like this group. But this cover, man, I love the colors on this cover. And it even like the colors and composition to me outweigh the dullness of the buildings below. Okay, because I kind of think that's a major criticism. The buildings of the city below look very weird, just like checkered, but look at what's going on here. The members of the Zodiac that are doing battle with the Avengers here. Taurus shooting at Thor. Leo trying to grab up Vision. Vision is just uppercutting Gemini. Okay. Ares is punching the hell out of Captain America. Iron Man, I'm not sure what he's actually doing there in the background. But these are just a few members of the Zodiac. Very recognizable team. Lame or not, like I said, I wanted to like them. They're instantly recognizable. And just the contrasting styles and looks of their costumes, I think, worked in their favor. All right. It's kind of weird, again, Vision and fighting these guys. I kind of feel like he could do whatever he wants against them. But, even still, I just could not resist this cover. But let's go on to our next one. We're moving into the top 5, y'all. All right. I love this one. I kind of even feel bad putting it as low as 5. This one could be higher, I feel, almost. This is the work of Neil Adams, actually, and this came out in November of '71. This is one of the earlier covers you'll see on my list. All right, look at the Vision here. He's pounding the living hell out of this alien, and look at what Thor is saying. Vision, stand away from yon alien. Strike him no more. And Cap saying, or you'll kill him. You kill him, man. All right. By the way, Thor in his talk, man, yon alien. I just can't get over that. He's just stubborn, clinging to his archaic way of talking. But I love the ferocity in the Vision, man. This is Neil Adams' work, man. And I didn't clue in on that right away, but when I saw that Neil Adams did this one, it was instantly recognizable to me what he was doing here. And I love the left fist in the air, which looks like it's shaking or it's, quaking, ready to come down in full force. You feel the velocity of these punches on this cover and the desperation of the Avengers behind Thor, Cap, and Iron Man. It doesn't matter if the background itself is fairly nondescript. I think it works in its favor. There's a lot going on here. And the damage being done to yon alien, as Thor said, pretty serious stuff. The Andromeda Swarm, as it says at the bottom. Man, I feel guilty putting this as low as 5. I don't know, man. Should I second guess it? But you know what? The next few, I love for their own reasons too. But again, at this point, it's almost like a toss-up. Remember, this isn't a top 15. This is like, I already did my top 13, but these were tough to decide too. All right, we're gonna move on to number 4 on tonight's list. This is such a unique cover to me. This is issue 106, and this is the work of Rich Buckler, man. With Frank Giacola, Sam Rosen, and Mori Kuramoto. All right, a lot of work, a lot of teamwork in this one. But Rich Buckler, he had a lot of great 70s covers, man. This came out in September of 72. Look at Iron Man. I've never seen Iron Man laid out like this. I've never seen a pose like this from Iron Man, and I love the composition and the color combinations here. This one was not originally going to be so high, but it just kept creeping up my list. I just couldn't deny this one. I love this cover, man. Look at Black Panther. Iron Man slain, but there was no one in this tunnel but us. That means one of us is the killer. And then that's Hawkeye below. But who? Who? Oh my God. Hawkeye wearing his skirt. He was in his hoe phase, looking like a streetwalker. Not so much Hawkeye, but more like Hawktua. You know, that chick. Kind of, yeah, that's low-hanging fruit, but you know what I'm saying, man. He's looking... That chick was never supposed to get famous. Anyways. Hawkeye, bad look that he went with during this time period. But man, look at Iron Man. They think he's dead, and it says below, a traitor stalks among us. Man, this was an undeniable cover for me. I don't care. I don't care if no one else puts it up as high as I do. This is so interesting, and I love even his face. The fact that his chin, you can really just see his chin. He's laid out flat. All right, now we're gonna move on up to number 3. On the list, we're going to the year 1979. This is the end of the decade. This is issue 187 of June of the year of 1979. This is the work of John Byrne. I think that's instantly noticeable when you look at the faces. But John Byrne knew how to do poses too. He knew how to do anatomy pretty well. Terry Austin, Gaspar Saladino. It's Scarlet Witch. And she's flipped out. She's turned to villainy, all right, which sometimes happens with her, I guess. And then she turns sweet and innocent again. She's always turning bad. But she's got Cap, Ms. Marvel, Falcon, Quicksilver, Wasp, and Wonder Man in the safari gear, all right. And it says here, the Witch on Wundagore Mountain. Okay, she's in total control. It's a striking cover, isn't it? The facial expressions of the Avengers, they look very well, they're unconscious, obviously. But I don't know. I kind of wish maybe something else was going on in their faces. But again, like, the image is instantly distinctive from a distance. Scarlet Witch's face is ferocious, and the pose she's striking, quite frightening. All right, so that's near the end of the decade. When I go to our second installment, or our second choice, we're going way back to the beginning of the decade. This is November of 1970, man. This is issue 84. All right, this is the beginning of the decade. And I just could not deny this one. I love the colors on this cover, and it's capturing something that I feel only the early 70s was able to do. The simplicity of this cover, but it just works so sweet, or so beautifully. Thor getting hit with a lightning bolt by Archon, the awesome Archon, as it says here. And he says, "I've destroyed your fellow Avengers, Thor, and you're next." All right, and he's back to menace two worlds. And there's the Enchantress behind Archon, with Vision and Quicksilver out of it, pretty much. I love the otherworldliness of this cover. I love what looks like the cosmos, space with what looks like these infinite planets, and they're all colored, all the colors working together. Or at least that's how it looks, you know. Even a subtle detail that I really love is the coloring. If you look at the rocks in the foreground here, there's kind of some multicolored, almost rainbow effect going on with them. Man, I just love everything that pops off of this cover, and the black background, I think, really sets it off, or makes everything really feel like it has depth to it. Man, I don't know. I don't really even care about Archon. Remember, again, that's not even really the point of these cover judgments. I'm not really talking about the story or all that, but you know, sometimes that can play a role. But ultimately, it's all about the art. The art outweighs everything else. The compositions, the colors, the poses, the action, the drama. This cover, I think, has all of it. It has all of it. All right. So we're nearly finito, man. We got one more to go. Number one on the list. And before I go to that, let me talk about what's getting me through this episode. Let me take a sip. I'm gonna take a sip. All right. Man, these things are expensive as hell. I feel like Chris Rock sometimes. Like, can I 10 cents for a sip? Can I get a sip? Okay. Look at this issue. This was 15 cents. This Avengers 84. 15 cents. What can you get for 15 cents? You can't get a rib for 15 cents. I don't even think you can get a sip of this fine beverage for 15 cents. Hook me up. All right. I'm doing a lot of legwork for Monster these days. You know, kick back to your boy over here. Hook me up. All right. But here's number one, man. Here's my number one, which is actually 14th on my overall list. So, you know, don't get your panties in a twist if you disagree. Issue 102. All right. And this came out in May of 1972. I'm telling you, man, this was a great era. I love this style of cover that they were using back then that looked like a novel. I love it. I point it out every time. I don't care. I love it. All right. It's the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper. All right. Interesting villain. And he's saying here to the Vision, that human body in there can be yours, Vision. Now help me kill the Avengers or I'll destroy it. Okay, this is Wonder Man in the back. Bring him back. Bring back Wonder Man. All right. And look at the the disembodied heads of Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, Cap, and Thor looking on in horror. Okay. I love everything about this. Is Rich Buckler and Joe Sinnott who did this work. I love Grim Reaper's pose. I love Wonder Man being monochromatic, basically, in the back. Not taking away from the color of the Vision in the foreground. the horror on the faces of the Avengers. And what Grim Reaper's actually saying here about his own brother, Simon Williams, Wonder Man. The quote there as well. Like, this is an issue that I just realized if I saw this, it'd be like taking it right away, put it in a bag. I'm taking this home. All right. And ultimately, that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. To me, this one kind of has it all. Has it all. All right. Again, I'm sure that this one wasn't on a lot of y'all radar. A lot of y'all might be pointing out some other more famous covers, or rounded numbers like 150 or 100 or something like that. Yeah, I get it. I understand all that. But, you know, I was just going with my own gut when I chose these. So I don't care if some people don't agree. That's your prerogative, man. I mean, tell me why, though, if you don't agree. It's cool. Just let me know, man. It's all gravy. Just, you know, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. So, everybody, we're going to wrap it up. I think that's it. We took 30 minutes on this. I hope you're not, I hope you got another pot of coffee brewing and open up a bag of chips. Maybe a Frito-Lay product. Let me shout out Frito-Lay Corporation. All right, but anyways, that's the Avengers. That's my top 28. So if you don't know about the other ones and you think I missed something, maybe you need to watch my other video. Maybe I already covered it. All right? Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. So this is the Pop Culture Cosmonaut. One more time, we're going to be back with more Avengers, more whoever. Let me know in the comments who you want to hear more about. But we're out of here for now.